Thank you very much. Appreciate that. What's going on, guys? JNC here for our fifth JNC Rewind. This will be the Royal Rumble of 2008. Yes, we have a set of Royal Rumble shows coming your way. In fact, actually, I could probably run down the list of shows we're hoping to do
Through
coming up.
Mania, actually.
Yeah, we have a whole lineup through Mania. Might think about putting that up there, putting the whole lineup up there. I haven't really decided if I'm going to do that or not, but I'm definitely going to let you know what the at least the run through of the next several weeks is going to be. But yeah, this is the Royal Rumble of 2008. Second show we've done for 2008. Of course, we did Armageddon 2008. Did that back in October. Yeah, back in October. Yeah. So this was a okay show.
I thought it was solid, but not like solid as in like great, just solid as.
Yeah, I mean there was some good. I mean it was mostly for me probably like the final two matches that really did it for me. But there wasn't a terrible match on the show.
No.
So yeah, we here in 2008. This is the first pay-per-view of the year.
First pay-per-view when they're HD, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, first high definition pay-per-view. So this is a time of so some I guess you could say transitions in WWE at this time. Of course, they're going HD. They hadn't gone PG yet. That's not till like the
Summer
of the year. But yeah, to me, as I stated before, 2008 to me was a very underappreciated year. I thought it was actually a great year in a lot of ways. I mean, it wasn't perfect. I mean, but it's never been. I mean, it never will be. But yeah, I thought it was just underappreciated in a lot of ways. Just good feuds, solid wrestling, consistent booking. And just look at the roster and just look at the guys that they had at this time. I mean,
yeah.
You look that up and like you go back. If you go on the WWE Network and just rewatch this whole year, whatever you do. Yeah, you should be able to see exactly what I mean by that. And if you don't, and you can't take anything away from this, then I don't know what to tell you. But yeah,
Go back to your rock.
Yeah, big 2008 guy here, I guess. So yeah, we'd open the show. This is the first time I've watched this in a little while.
Yeah.
So it brought back some things I didn't really like thought about or thought like that I was going to end up mentioning going into the show. But yeah, so we'd first had the video package, which would open the show. It's just Royal Rumble,
The
but
typical getting ready for on the road.
Road to WrestleMania starts here. But of course, they would show a whole bunch of wrestlers getting like a train,
Just beat the
like a
crap
subway,
out
and
of each
then
other.
just brawl. I mean, I thought that was pretty funny and pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get how they did it because the subway.
New York City.
Yeah, they're in New York City.
Yeah, kind of goes hand in hand. But the first match of the show would be a career-threatening match between Ric Flair and MVP. And
This was the only match I did not remember at all.
yeah, no, I remember this one a little bit. Not like extensively, but only because I just remember this Ric Flair storyline. Because Ric Flair had gone out on Raw one night and stated that he plans on never retiring. And then Vince would come out there and say that not to get ahead of yourself because the next time he's in a match and the next time he loses another match, it will be his last and he will retire. Good story. Just makes sense because he's at a very late stage in his career. I mean, he's about like 58, 59 years old, and
At this point.
yeah. So the next time he'd lose a match, he would have to retire. So this was a career-threatening match. First, before the match would begin, Ric Flair would cut a promo and basically say how he was grateful and thankful for the times that he had in Madison Square Garden over the years and all the cool things he got to do. I guess another thing to know was MVP was the United States champion at this time, but of course, title was not on the line. And yeah, this wasn't the worst match in the world. It was an okay match. Interesting opener. I guess that's one way of viewing it. I mean, this is not something I would have ever really pictured as a pay-per-view opener, but I guess if you look at what they had in this lineup, I guess it's really probably the only thing they probably could have done.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not bad for a Ric Flair match.
Well, at this point, his career,
yeah.
let's not got twisted.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
gonna disrespect the greatest of all time.
One of the greatest of all time. The MVP did what he had to do for this match against Flair, and in the end, obviously, he wasn't ready to retire yet. And he ends up picking the pinfall, not the pinfall.
No, he actually made him submit, which
Yeah.
that was actually kind of surprising.
Yes.
Yeah, because MVP was U.S. champion at this time, and I kind of thought that like maybe they do like I'm actually surprised this was a clean finish in a way.
Wasn't this also during his like that long reign as U.S. champion?
Yeah, this is during his super extensive long reign as U.S. champ. But yeah, Ric Flair would pick up the win in this opener. His career would continue on for a little bit longer. Then they would cut to the back, and there'd be a backstage segment with Vince and Hornswoggle. Yes, this is when they're doing the illegitimate child angle.
Hornswoggle McMahon.
And he basically just tells him that you can't trust anyone. Then Finn would walk in there, and then he'd tell him as well that you can't trust anyone. And he would kind of question, like, what do you mean by that? And he's basically just saying, like, whatever. And yes.
Because obviously every Royal Rumble, Battle Royal situation, alliances don't last very long.
Yeah.
It's every man for himself, obviously.
That, and he's probably just trying to like stir things up between them, because that's what Vince likes to do, I guess.
Yeah, that's what Vinnie Mac likes to do.
So next we'd have John Bradshaw Wayfield, JBL, and Chris Jericho 1-on-1. This was a
no, we never even get the rating for the last match.
Oh yeah, sorry, 2.5. We both agreed on.
Yeah, both agreed 2.5 on the last match.
Yeah, so then we had Chris Jericho and JBL. This was a weird one.
Yeah, it was very weird.
I never really quite got this story.
All because Jericho shoved him aside while he was trying to get up.
Yeah, he's trying to get up. It was during the he was in a WWE title match against Randy Orton at Armageddon of 07, and he would just try to he wanted JBL just to move out of the way, so he kind of shoved him, and then he had him in the walls of Jericho, and I guess to get you to believe that he was going to make him tap, and then JBL would jump in the ring and he boot him in the head.
Ambush him.
And then I guess by doing that, he would get removed from broadcasting. Then he'd join Raw, and then he would get back in the ring after a year and a half hiatus. Felt longer in a way.
It did actually. Well, think about it. Basically the second half of 06, all of 07.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, when you think about
until
it,
that point.
it makes sense. But yeah, he had been out of the ring for a while. Like he had some nagging injuries, and he just had to step away from the ring, and I guess you could say temporarily retire. I guess you could say in a way.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah, but this thing was just this is this kind of strange thing. Leading up to the Rumble, there would be one Raw. I don't remember which one it was, but I know that they said that or not that they said, but they showed like JBL just trying to choke the life out of Jericho with this cord.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A little disturbing.
Yeah, I think he'd say something about his family or his kids or something.
Yeah, which I don't know. Funny thing, I think that's the first time WWE ever mentioned that he actually had a family.
It could have been. Yeah, but I don't have much to say about this match. It wasn't really long, but Jericho during this would receive a very nasty cut and would bleed quite a bit.
Yeah, but then at the end of the day, Jericho actually would nail JBL with a chair, just DQing him.
He like really nailed him too.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then he would get him back. He would start choking the life out of him.
Yeah, and by doing that, of course, the chair shot to that. He got DQ'd. Yeah, this is just weird.
It's just bizarre. But anyway, we both gave it
2 stars. Yeah. Nothing really not really much to say about this. Kind of skimming through the first couple matches here, but not really much to say about either one of them.
It doesn't start picking up until the championship matches.
Yeah, so after that we
What was this?
Okay, sorry. Now I'm back on track. Okay. Next, we had a backstage segment with Ashley with Santino, where Ashley would try to speak with Maria, and then Santino basically said that she wants nothing to do with her, basically speaking on her behalf, because I guess Ashley was trying to get her to shoot for Playboy, and was trying to get through to her, but Santino wasn't having any of it because he didn't want her to do that. Then next we'd have the World Heavyweight Championship match with the champion Edge defending against Rey Mysterio. And Edge would also have Vicky Guerrero and Ryder and Hawkins in his corner.
Remember, Rey Mysterio earned this title shot because he won a Beat the Clock challenge.
Yes. So, yeah, this wasn't actually one of my favorite matches between these two. And these are two guys who I always enjoyed, two of my favorites that I ever got to see. Yeah, this match actually wasn't quite as good as I had remembered. Not that it was bad, but by any means, but I just expected probably more.
Yeah, probably a little more action. Would you say? These guys, obviously history with each other, former tag team champions with each other.
I know a lot of people forget about that.
Yeah, we don't.
But yeah, this is just another weird one. I hate to just go through these first matches kind of quickly, but it's like they're not really giving me much to discuss here. Although the probably the most memorable thing is the finish, and the finish was actually great to this.
Vicky would get off that chair for the first time, I think.
Yeah, so he went for the
619.
Yeah, he went for the 619, and he'd go for the cover, and then Vicky would pull the referee out of the ring as he was about to count the 3, and then Mysterio would go for the 619 again, but this time Vicky would get up on the apron, and then she would then Ray would catch her and nail her with the 619 from the back. Then he'd go to do the West Coast pop, and then Edge would spear him in midair, and then he'd get the 1-2-3, and he'd retain his championship.
Yep, obviously Edge holds on to that belt for...
Yeah, all the way goes into Mania as champion. So, yeah, I gave this one like a 2.5. As I said, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't really like memorable, and it's kind of underwhelming actually in a lot of ways.
I said the same thing. I mean, for the most part, this was a pretty steady pay-per-view between me and Cam.
Yeah, we're pretty much in agreement on just about everything. I would think.
And then what was next?
Next, we had a backstage segment with Ric Flair, Mr. Kennedy, Shawn Michaels, Batista, and Triple H. This was actually a fun segment. It started out where Ric Flair was, I guess, getting out of the shower, and Kennedy was in the locker room, and then Shawn Michaels would intervene, and then I guess Kennedy would kind of like step away and didn't want anything to do with anything from there. Then Batista and Triple H went out of the picture, and then things, I guess,
talking about the Rumble.
Yeah.
I believe wasn't Mr. Kennedy Ric Flair's next opponent?
Yeah, that would be Mr. Kennedy's next opponent, and No Way Out. That'd be his next career-threatening match, I believe. Well, he may have had a match on Raw or something, but that was his next pay-per-view one.
Yeah.
So then of course Shawn would get his little cheap merchandise plug in there.
Those are funny.
No, those are funny.
Those are funny. Yeah, it was a nice, like, refreshing segment.
Yeah, it was, and yeah, it's definitely better than this next part. Next, we have the Maria Kiss Cam. Yeah,
That was probably a really awkward segment.
well, it's really awkward just because if you look at these people in the crowd, it's like of all the ones that they've done in the past, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen like a bunch of like different like groups or couples of people that just like seem so uncomfortable with this, because the kind of vibes I was getting from the audience is like a lot of these people didn't even seem like they were. Well, they did not seem like they were down with it whatsoever, and actually, I would not have been surprised if they were like even like real couples at all. It seemed like some of these people could have just gone as friends or whatever, because they